Good morning, Lourdes.
Good morning, Maria. How are you?
I'm well. How are you today?
Good, 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 good. It's a beautiful sunny day here in New York.
And as usual, it's a beautiful sunny day down here in Florida. As usual.
Okay, don't brag. It's been chilly up here. It's been unseasonably um, cold. So I'm
Uh,
I'm looking forward to some spring weather.
yeah, I love the spring in New York.
Mm,
Anyway, welcome back to Coaching Conversations. I'm Maria Sabio.
and I'm Lourdes Labor. If you're joining us for the first time, then welcome. Maria and I are coaches who mix life coaching tools with timeless insight to help you get out of your way and back into your life.
Yeah, and today we're talking to anyone who's been waiting to be happier, waiting to be ready, waiting for permission to really start living.
Absolutely. And if you're one of those people who kind of you've been telling yourself, I'll feel better when, or I'll do this when, and you're just holding things out into the distance. Once things calm down, then I'll start working on myself. Then maybe this episode is a wake up call for you in the kindest possible way. So let's be real. Most of us walk through life like we've got an unlimited amount of time. Like the things that really matter can wait. Like we're going to get to them eventually. That someday mindset is really sneaky.
You know that someday mindset. It totally. We keep pushing our joy, our healing, even our growth down the line, like we're always going to have another chance. But what if that is the opposite, right? What if it's that if the fact is that time is limited and is the very reason, if we start to think this way, that time is limited, you can start showing up today.
Yeah, and we're not throwing shade. I am 100% guilty of this myself at some point. There have been things that I just kind of put off until later. I'll get to that later when things are calmer, when things are less busy, then I'll do that thing. But it's important to realize that, you know, life is short, and when we can stop fearing that life is short and start honoring it instead, then what happens is we stop wasting our energy on stuff that doesn't move the needle. You begin to live on purpose.
Right, because we can't guarantee tomorrow, but all of us, we have today, and how we use today. That's what adds up to a life that you can be proud of. How you're showing up on a daily basis for yourself, for your family, in your community and at work.
Absolutely. And often we avoid facing the fact that how short life really is. A lot of people have a lot of fear around this. But if we admit life's moving fast, then maybe we have to admit that we've been distracted, that maybe we're spending our energy in the wrong places. But here's the truth, it's not too late.
No, it's not. In fact, if it's kind of freeing. It wakes you up. It stops you from sleepwalking through your days and your life, because the minute you really feel the weight of time, your choices start to sharpen. You stop, tolerating the things that drain you. You stop numbing out. And you start making room for what really matters, your relationships, your creativity, rest, joy, things that are important to you.
Exactly. And, let's be clear. You don't need a crisis to realize this. I'm sure you've seen this in your own life, Maria, that, people often are moved into action due to a crisis. But you can actually choose to start today on your own terms without a crisis. So let's break this down into action, because this mindset shift only works when you use it, right? These shifts
Right.
only work when you use them. And so let's share some simple things that someone can do today to get back into alignment.
Right. I mean, we talk about, shifting, right? And one thing that you can start asking yourself is, what would the best version of me do today? Then do that one thing. Put it on as a priority for yourself. And it might be, it doesn't have to be a major thing. It could be, texting someone you love, making a phone call to someone that you want to speak to, or finally saying no to someone or even someone or something that's really been draining you.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I was talking to a client yesterday, and she was sharing this thing that she was kind of beating herself up a little bit about something that she should have done ages ago, she said. And I was like, well, it's okay. Do it today. Do it
Mhm.
today. Just go ahead and make those calls, reach out to those people, and don't feel like you've lost time. Just go ahead and do it today. And we hung up the phone, and that was her intention. And I hope she followed through, because she was feeling a lot of regret for not having done it already
Mhm.
in the past. But this coming into focus and sharpening what's important, that hopefully will spur us into action, right? This refinement of what is important. What do I really want to take action on? Something that I like to practice regularly is, asking myself regularly, what's one meaningful thing that I can do today? One thing that feels aligned, and not for my ego, but for my heart.
Right. Yeah, that's so important, that alignment, with your heart, right? And you pay attention to the small stuff, those quiet connections, the way the sunlight hits your face when you're walking, the way it feels to laugh when you weren't expecting to. That's life showing up, and if you're present, you're there for it. And it doesn't last for just that moment. It lasts forever when you're present to a beautiful moment, like I said, like a laugh, a smile from your child or someone you love.
Absolutely. And, don't skip the reflection part. Even 5 minutes at night, asking yourself, did I live with intention today?
Mhm.
Can change your relationship with time.
Yeah, and that's the key. You shift from postponing to participating, from reacting to really choosing. And progress comes from those simple, consistent actions.
Absolutely. So let's be real. This mindset is simple, but it's not always easy to maintain. Life is noisy and messy, and stress shows up. So the question becomes, how do we stay grounded in this? And you can start by anchoring into your why. Why do you want to stop waiting? Why does this matter to you? Get clear on that and keep it in front of you.
Yeah, no, definitely. There's a thing where you ask the seven whys and you get an answer and you keep going why and why and why to get down to the root of the real reason that you're doing something. And we can normalize, we have this thing where we can normalize having these off days, right? You don't need to crush life in every morning or in every way. Sometimes just being present means just showing up even when you'd rather just shut down. And um, this isn't about perfection, it's about progress, that gentle, honest progress. Even small intentional actions done consistently, they just add up to life, and a life that feels aligned.
Absolutely. So, um, before we wrap up, let's hit on what some of the biggest takeaways are. What do you think the biggest transformation someone can have from adopting this perspective?
Well, I think that one of the biggest things is that most of us are stuck in a survival mode, and just getting through the day. And you shift to living with clarity and purpose. And that's not a small thing. Going from survival to living on purpose, that's life changing, because once you're out of that survival state, you're no longer in a fear state. You don't feel separate, and your perspective has a massive change. Life is now happening for you, and the obstacles that appear in your life, they're no longer overwhelming. You're not filled with overwhelmed and anxiety and the sky falling. They're just challenges for you to overcome. They're lessons for you to learn something different. It's a misalignment, a new direction. They're not things that are going to crush you. So there's no victim mindset.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean that is so important. Um, this realization that you're living in survival mode, and then the relief of putting that down, and opening yourself up to really living and thriving, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think one thing that surprises people once they start living this way is that they realize that they don't necessarily need to do more. They just need to choose differently. And that peace, it isn't out there, it's already inside them, waiting to be accessed.
Exactly. That peace, real peace, a sense of alignment, the ability to look at their lives and say, I showed up. I didn't wait. I lived.
Yes. And that's the power of conversations like this, right? They give you the spark. And coaching gives you the structure and the guidance and the support to keep going.
Yeah.
So today, just ask yourself, if today truly mattered, how would I show up?
Yeah. And really let that question sit with you, right? Let it guide your next choice. You don't need to do everything, just the next right thing.
Yeah. And this is why we do this, to help you pause, realign, and reconnect with the truth that your life isn't on hold. It's already happening.
All right. So thanks for being with us today. We're so glad you're here. You've got time, but you don't have forever. So use today well, and we'll be right here with you.